Hello, my name is Maggie Kambai. I am a storyteller, and today I'd like to review a book entitled "When Breath Becomes Air." And this book was written by Paul Kalanithi. And just from the title, I'm sure it really sparks a lot of questions in one's mind. And so, first of all, I'd like to I just pose a few questions before we dive in the review. So, what makes life worth living? And secondly, why do we hang on to life even in the face of death? So here's the story of Paul Kalanithi. And so Paul Kalanithi is a neurosurgeon, and he has degrees. He has a degree in English literature, and he's good in his field. He's loved by his patients, and he is good at his job. And he had a great future ahead of him. And one day he discovers to say he had stage 4 lung cancer, and that's where everything else mushrooms from. So when breath becomes air it is a memoir. This is Paul's journey through it all. Paul's journey through the cancers, through taking pills, through chemotherapy, losing weight, and how everything else affected his marriage. And I think as a person living, we always ask ourselves, when life really gets serious, when life gets, when everything else is breaking apart, you really ask yourself to say, why am I living? What's the point? And knowing that you have a few years to live, so you wouldn't know what to do with your time. But then Paul in this book teaches us about values, and we see him sticking to the things that he loves the most, talking about his job, talking about his family, and also patience, and his passion for writing. And through that we see this book being birthed, when breath becomes air. And so it's about it's writing about his journey, that we also draw lessons from that. And he tells us to say, when in that remaining years that he had, or in that remaining time that he had, he was focusing much on his values, on the things that made him happy, on the things that made life worth living. And so this book is really a great book, because just the way Paul writes, his writing style is out of this world. And I think it is because he really understands his task as an English literature major. So we really see him bringing that to life, and also being at both ends of the spectrum, him being a doctor and also being a patient. So we see how everything in between just plays out for good, but then the end is tragic because Paul dies.